the Christmas Fund means a lot to you, and certainly working on community projects, this is something that we've done forever.
But especially working with you as morning partners, all the places that we would go together, you expanded my investment in the community, and I was already invested in this community. I've told you this many times. Years ago, my father said, of all the places in the world that he had lived, he never had seen a community with the spirit of Rutland, and we have expanded so much since he said that back in the late 70s and early 80s when my family all lived here. I think my parents would just be dumbfounded by things like the Gift of Life Marathon and stuff of us, but the Christmas Fund was one of the things that made that big impression on my family back then.
Yeah.
And it was pretty new in 1978.
Absolutely. I mean, 78, nobody had stopped the music and so-called broke the format. Like, we're not going to do this, we're going to break our format and we're going to do this. And that's kind of what's going on with these radio stations.
I lost my job a couple of times.
And Kelly, when did you get to town?
I've been part of the Rutland community now for my God, 30 years. And, the first year I was here, I was introduced to the Christmas Fund with some of the original members of the Christmas Fund committee.
Yeah, now, you worked with Brian, you worked with Jack.
Brian Collimore and Jack Healy, Ralph Smith, of course, and Alex Dunn. So many great names from our past, that really spearheaded this and really got it going, over 50 years ago. And, the first 20, I wasn't part of it, but I'm so glad that, for the last 30, I've been able to be part of this thing.
Amen.
It's a very special thing for the community.
Debbie, you and I kind of grew up in the same neighborhood. As a matter of fact, my grandmother, what was the street?
Baxter
Street in West Rutland. So I spent so much time there growing up, and you were the little kid that lived on the corner. You were always a bold little kid.
Never, Terry. I was shy and quiet.
But what Debbie talks about when Brian and I are in meetings about the Christmas Fund, and Debbie always talks about hearing the stories that would make her cry. And Brian, they're not just stories. These are things that happen.
Yeah.
They're letters that we've read that were written. These letters were tear-stained when they wrote it. And then they were re-tear-stained again when we read them out loud on the air. But those are the things that moved you when you heard these things on the radio.
I mean, you'd be driving down the road, sobbing. You'd have to turn around, come back to Door Drive, and make a donation, write a check. I mean, you just had to. And the need is not any less now. And the stories are probably no less sad. We just we do things a little differently, so we don't get those stories to us. They come from the agency, so we don't have as many stories to tell on the radio, but the need is still there, and the stories are still sad.
BC, the Christmas Fund, how do you think it's changed over the years?
Well, technology has helped us quite a bit. This is the first year folks can contribute digitally by using the code. In years past, I remember when we used to go on after midnight, it was a big deal to stay on the air and have people come 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. So you don't maybe see as many people face to face as we used to, but it's evolved like everything else has. And I do want to mention again, we need your help. We're not where we want to be, so you have 3 ways to contribute. You can stop by the station here on Door Drive and give us what you can. You can use the mail, 250 Door Drive, Rutland 05701, or use the QR code on either the Facebook page for the Christmas Fund or any of the websites for Catamount Radio. And we need every last nickel that we can get this year.
Everybody in this room takes this Christmas Fund personally. It's not a project that the radio station is working on. It's, listen, Nancy and Ed don't have a lot to do with the radio station anymore. They're here because they believe in this to their core. This is some of the stuff that brought you and I out of retirement.
Oh, it was, absolutely.
Yeah, this is why we're here. And we talked about this earlier. We're not here to play another song that we like or hey, that's a really cool tune, or wow, let's do some dedications. Although we will do a Christmas dedication if you want to make a donation to the Christmas fund. I'll play a Christmas song for you any day of the week. But it's about passion. It is personal for all of us. And I know it's personal for many of you. Whether you've been helped by the Christmas fund before, it can't get any more personal than that, or whether you brought your kid down here 50 years ago, and that kid now has kids. It's a thing that we talk about, and Nancy, we've talked about this before. It's generational giving. The Rutland community it's created. You parents have done this. You grandparents have done this. Aunts and uncles have done this. You're creating that next generation. So yeah, we're having a campaign for this year's Christmas fund, but this is also a campaign for the next blood drive, for the next Stuff-A-Bus, for the next family that faces a tragedy, for giving more at church. Whatever it is, that's what it's about. And I think the governor aptly put it this morning when he was on the air with us, Brian. He's with us on this. This is what we do.
Yeah, it's up to you, not him.
Yeah.
Not Uncle Sam, not the government of the state of Vermont. It's up to you to help us get to where we need to be this year.
Yeah, if you think we need less government and more local control, this is it.
Yeah.
Now you've got local control.
Ultimate
What do you-
This is charity beginning at home.
Yeah, what are you going to do with your control now that you have it?
Yeah.
All right, so that's basically what the Christmas fund is about. And we hope that you guys participate. Don't let the opportunity pass you by to catch this spirit.